On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the veteran culture, why the toxic nature has to change, and how we are only doing this to ourselves and no one is coming to save us. Hope you enjoy the episode. Here we go. Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing has not been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. I received this message last night. You're an embarrassment to veterans everywhere. Society will never understand us, and they are the enemy. We are fucked up in the head, and nobody is helping us, yet you sit there and blame veterans. It's not our fault. None of this is my fault. This is what they did to me, and they never helped me get better. What am I supposed to do? I get messages like that probably about 3 to 4 times a week. It used to bother me. It used to bother me because I realized that I can't help these guys. But it's because they don't want to be helped. It's because they refuse to accept that they can be helped. They ask what they're supposed to do. And in this message, he says that this is what they did to me. When you put the blame on other people, when you put the blame on the military, the government, the VA, whatever, you're taking away your power. You're taking away your ownership. It may not be your fault, but guess what? It is your responsibility. It may not be your doing, but guess what? It is on you to fix it. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix your issues. They're yours. And there's power in that. And you might believe that, well, this is unfair, and I was in the military, and they turned me into this savage. There's a whole indoctrination that goes into boot camp when you join the military. All of that is very much true, absolutely. But when you get out, we don't have that. The culture shock is real. And we get out, and nobody teaches us how to do the things that everybody else is doing. And we feel lost because we don't understand that everybody else has the upper hand initially. But we can actually catch up. We can do just as well if we stop blaming everybody, if we stop waiting for someone to come and save us, if we stop feeling like the ownership of our issues belongs to someone else. It doesn't. It's yours. They're your problems. What are you going to do about it? Let's break this down. You're an embarrassment to veterans everywhere. I don't represent all veterans. I speak from my point of view. This is my opinion. This is my truth. This is what I went through. This is the life that I've lived. It's not that I know any better. It's not that I feel like I speak for veterans. It's not that I feel like my way is the best way. It's just that this is what I know. This is what I did. I've learned from so many other people. I want to learn from someone every single day. I am open to changing my mind about every single issue, every single day. Society will never understand this, and they are the enemy. You are society now, my man. And if you sent me this message last night, I didn't reply to you. And if you are hearing this, I really hope you take this in. Although, like I said, people like this, it's not that you need to give up on them. They don't want your help. And no matter how much you give it, people like this need to get to that hard place for them to realize that they're wrong. You cannot help someone who keeps slapping your hand away every single time that you reach out. You are wasting your energy. Use it to help those that are willing, that are reaching their hands out, and there's no one there to grab it. Society is not the enemy. We are part of society now. We are supposed to be the best version of society, upstanding citizens. We are supposed to be the best version of what it means to be a human being. But how can we represent that when we draw this line in the sand? How can we represent the fact that we are trying to be better when we draw this line in the sand and we say that it's us versus them? It's not. We are them. They are us. You are referring to your mother, your brother, your sister, your friends, the people that you love and love you, yet you are saying that they are on the other side of that line. It is not us versus them. It is not. We have to stop treating ourselves as if we are different or we are special or we deserve something or we need to be treated a certain way. Treat yourself the best way possible. Be the best version of you. Put the onus on you. We are fucked up in the head and nobody is helping us, yet you sit here and blame veterans. At what point have you heard me say that this is our fault? That this is only the veterans' fault? You hear me say that I want you to take responsibility. You hear me say that I believe in you. You hear me say that I know you have it in you. Because I had it in me. And it took me a while to figure that out. I don't blame veterans. I put the freaking ownership on us to do better. Because we can. Think about the way that we treat ourselves. Think about the way that we treat other veterans. And if society sees that, what do you think they're going to think about us? I believe in you so much that I want you to believe in yourself the same way. I know that you have it in you to be a better version of you. I know that you want to change. I know that you're tired of drinking every single freaking night. I know that you hate looking yourself in the mirror. I know that you are tired of ruining every relationship that you find yourself in. I know that you are upset. You should be. But that pain, that fire that you feel in your belly, it has to be the reason why you decide to make a change in your life. It has to be the reason why you tell yourself that you are done living this mediocre life. I believe in you, and I know that you have it in you. It's not our fault. None of this is my fault. This is what they did to me, and they never helped me get better. What the fuck am I supposed to do? What you do, my friend, what you do is realize that every single day that you wake up and you tell yourself that because of everything that happened to you, because of all these things from your past that you volunteered for, by the way, because of all these things that are outside of your supposed control, because of all those things that are external, you are going to be an asshole and get fired from your job. You are going to go and have a beer first thing in the morning. You are going to go and verbally abuse your partner. You are going to go and do dope. Stick a needle in your arm. Not be able to hold down a job. Have PTSD that is unaddressed and that you refuse to go to the VA for because you say that they are the enemy. You are going to make your life harder than it has to be. You were addicted to chaos. We all were. It was war. Find your peace. How ridiculous is it? How ridiculous is it to tell yourself that you can't find peace because you were at war at some point? War is not normal. You have earned your peace. And you have to stop creating chaos in your world. You have to stop lying, cheating, being an asshole, going on social media and just shit-talking other veterans, spending your time sitting on that couch watching TV with a beer in your hand, talking about the old days and back in my day and when I was in and how soft society is now. You can influence so much more than you know by the way that you treat yourself, because people will see that and you have no idea who is watching. You have no idea who you might influence. You have no idea who you might inspire. I'm sick and tired of the veteran culture being the way that it is. Because for every positive influence that we have out there, we have too many veterans who refuse to let go of the anger and the pain, and they sit in it and they wallow in it, and then it overwhelms them, and then it becomes the thing that controls them, and it becomes their identity. They don't deserve that. Your brothers and sisters that are no longer here with us don't deserve that. When I started VetRise Academy, I wanted to coach veterans because I understand the power of physical fitness, of doing something hard, of stepping out of your mind and getting into your body and putting yourself through rigorous activity, of breaking a sweat, of chemicals being released into your brain that make you feel better. I understand the power of eating the right foods, of taking a cold shower, of getting 8 hours of sleep, of making sure that you quit being an asshole to people, because now your energy levels are better and you realize that life is not as bad as you've made it out to be, and the world is not out to get you, and civilians are not the enemy. And with that, you start to feel a little more confident. You start to feel a little bit happier, and you realize, I can start therapy. I can actually avoid alcohol this weekend. I can make the decision to get the help that I need. I can reach out to my buddies instead of sitting in my garage alone with a drink in my hand and a weapon in the other. No one should get there, but we do. And it happens, and we need to stop it. I'm a very firm believer that in order to get out of your head, you need to get into your body. Anxiety, depression, the prescription for that is action, taking movement, one step at a time, but doing something. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour workout. It doesn't have to be rucking 20 miles with 100 pounds on your back. It doesn't have to break you. It just has to get you going. And once you get going, you put yourself into momentum. I'm a firm believer in understanding that rigorous work builds resiliency. That doing what you said you were going to do builds confidence. All right, let's stop for a minute. This is the part of the episode where I ask you to do me a favor. But it's not a favor for me. It's a favor for your fellow brothers and sisters that served with you. If you know someone that has been struggling, if you know someone that has been going through it right now, and you know that they want better for their life, they just don't know how to do it, please share this episode with them. It might just be exactly what they need. That's it. That's my only ask. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Back to the episode. There are so many Facebook groups out there, and unfortunately, what you see on there is a lot of echo chamber, where they find themselves inside this vacuum And you will find the most amazing support in there if that's what you're looking for. But you will also find a lot of hate, a lot of discontent, a lot of anger, a lot of jealousy, a lot of people that will sit there and talk down to you or tell you that you're stupid for doing this or trying to get help from the VA or telling you that you weren't even really a Marine because you weren't a grunt or that you were in the Air Force, so therefore you're not really even a veteran, or that your service doesn't count because you didn't see war. You are invalidating the people that are supposed to be your brothers and sisters. The people that also raised their right hand, less than 1% of this country, and did something similar to you. Now, you cannot change someone who doesn't want to change. I am not here for that. I understand that. I respect it. And by respect, I mean that I don't waste my time on it. It is there. And if I can change the mind of one person, beautiful. But I am much more concerned with the veterans who want to change, who are upset with the culture, who feel lost, who feel alienated, who feel disenfranchised. You're not alone. You're not. I promise you. If you reach out to me on social medias, I will have a conversation with you. If you reach out to your brothers and sisters, they will be there for you. There are hundreds of organizations out there that are there to help you. You just have to be willing to use them. You have to be willing to pick up that phone. You have to be willing to make that appointment and keep that appointment and show up. Show up for yourself. You have to show up for yourself before anyone can show up for you. It is not about what the world can do for you. It is about what you are willing to do for yourself. Are you willing to put yourself as a priority? Are you willing to prove to yourself that you are worth being on this earth? I'm a little bit heated today because it always happens. And let me be very clear. This is not going to ruin my day. This is not going to throw me off. I got this message last night. I slept like a freaking baby. I got my 8 hours of sleep. I woke up at 4:30, jumped in my ice barrel, and had the best fucking day ever because that's how I do it. Things like that don't affect me because I understand the reality of it. I understand the reality of the fact that the people that want help aren't the ones that are sending hateful messages like that. Now, I pray and I hope and I wish and I give all the effort that I can that this person one day sees a video from me or from someone else and they see the light. They see clarity in the fact that they need to change the way that they are living and take ownership. But you cannot help those that are slapping your hand away every chance they get. You will tolerate what you don't hate. So if this person's situation is not as miserable as it needs to be, it will never be hot enough. There will never be a fire under his ass for him to remove himself from that situation, for him to make a permanent change. If you find yourself in a situation in your life that you don't like, that you are unhappy with, whether it's your living conditions, whether it's your employment, why are you there? Make a decision and then act on it. Start saving up money. Move out. Find someone that you can move in with. Decide that you're going to start doing Uber on the weekends to make that extra cash. Decide that you're going to get that promotion at work by showing up on time and being better than everybody else and rubbing elbows with the right people because it actually is important to be likable. We get out, and for most of us, for myself, because we feel so lost, because this is a different culture, it's a different beast, we don't understand what's going on, none of this makes sense, we feel like nobody gets us. We revert. We think about the best time in our life or what we thought it was, and it becomes our identity. and we were nothing but 5'11" stuff, and we were all this military stuff, and we talked with acronyms, and we alienate other people because we feel like they're coming against us when they're not. And we knife hand people, and we are assholes, myself included. I was like this for 7 years. 7 years. This isn't something that I just was able to leave behind immediately when I left the military. It's something that came with me. My ego did not die. I had to kill it. It had to be a choice. But you have to remember, it is your choice. When you get out, whether it's been 1 year or 10 years, it doesn't matter. Just understand that right now, in this moment, you have the power to flip that switch, to hit the reset, to tell yourself that starting today, you're done making excuses. Throw the freaking alcohol away if that is controlling you. Throw your gym shoes on and go for a freaking walk if your couch is controlling you. Get out of your head and into your body and go to that gym that you're paying freaking $40 a month for if your laziness is controlling you. The problem is not that we don't know how to do it. We know how. We've done it before. The problem is that sometimes we think we need permission from someone to do it, or we think that we need validation, or we think that we don't know how because now it's different, or that we don't want to be around people. And you make up all these reasons. However, former you in the military would laugh at those reasons because you felt invincible when you were in the military. What has changed? You have not changed. You are still you. You have all the skills that you had then, plus more. Your environment has changed. The culture has changed. You are in a different place with different people who feel a little bit different. That means you have to adapt, improvise, and overcome. The same way that we did back then. You learned a culture. You learned the acronyms. You learned how to speak. You learned what to do. You learned how to act. Do the same here. This is your new world. Like I've said before, veterans were never a part of society. We didn't come into a society that already knew us. When you are 15, 16, 17, you don't know shit. You don't. You think you do, but you don't. So as we get out and we come into this society, we have to learn everything from scratch. Everything. So use the tools you have. Who better to ask than someone who's been out here a little bit longer than you? Or who better to ask than a civilian who understands how to prepare a resume the right way? Who's going to tell you that you don't have to have all your military ribbons and awards on there because it is not going to matter to the employer. They want to know if they can like you and trust you. Someone that understands the value of being charismatic in the office. Guys and gals, it's on us. It's our responsibility. If you find yourself in that dark place, you have to be your own light. No one is coming to save you. If you find yourself in that dark place, you have to be your own light. And as you become your own light, other people will see that it's possible and they can become their own light. You don't have to walk and carry people up the hill. You don't have to push them up the hill. Just walk beside them. Be the example. Show them that it's possible. Inspire them. But just understand that you have to be worried about you. You cannot pour from an empty glass. I think that as veterans, we do a great job of looking out for everybody else and over volunteering for stuff. and trying to help everyone and save everyone and fix everyone else's problems. But we only do that because then we can ignore our own problems. Then we don't have to look ourselves in the mirror. Then we can avoid our issues. That has to stop. It has to. Become self-aware. Become self-aware and realize, what shortcomings do I have? What things do I have to work on? What issues am I dealing with? What bad habits and bad routines do I have right now? How can I change them? What can I do about it? Become your own freaking team leader. Treat yourself as if you are in charge of yourself, because you are. Shocker. You are in charge of yourself. So let's change the way that we treat ourselves. Let's change the way we treat other veterans. Let's change the veteran culture. Let's work on who we are. Understand that the less you think about whether someone understands you or not, you understand yourself that much more. Don't worry about the world. Stop blaming the economy. Stop thinking about politics. Worry about you. Deal with the issues at home. That's what matters. That's how you make an impact in your life. That's how your kids grow up and make sure that mom or dad is present. That's how you don't just become another crazy veteran. That's how you make sure you address your issues. That's how you get the job you want. That's how you create the life that you craved when you were getting out. If you guys listen to this episode, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. I'm going to ask you to please leave a review or a rating on this episode or on the podcast. Because right now we are averaging really high downloads, and it's been absolutely amazing. And it's been just so much. But I'm leaning into this. I'm leaning into this 150%. And I want to keep building this podcast. I want to keep building VetRise Academy. So do me a favor and leave the podcast a rating, a review. Write down what you think. I'm not asking you for 5 stars. I'm asking you just to leave it a rating or a review. Give me your real opinion about it. And I would also appreciate if you would message me on social media, wherever you follow me, if you do, and just let me know what you think of the podcast, if it's helped you, what you would like to hear more about, how it's affected you positively or negatively. I'm asking. It's on us, people. It's on us. No one is coming to save us. No one is coming to tell you, hey, don't do that. You have to be in charge of yourself. Take ownership over it. All it takes is all you got. You already have it inside of you. I believe in you. Now I just need you to believe in yourself. Thank you for your time. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join our mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget that we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.